friends, welcome to another episode of Auto Afflicted, and today I'll be doing my worst Doug DeMuro impression as we review this 2021 Bronco Badlands Sasquatch edition, and that's pretty cool. As you know, these are hard to get a hold of, and my brother-in-law was able to get this one off the lot without the added $20,000 dealer fee that they tried to screw you with. Even though he ordered this at least a year and a half ago, it's not guaranteed to be his even when it comes in because the dealer still owns it. But luckily, the dealer was nice and let him have it for the actual asking price. These do come in many trims, starting at the base level at around $30,000, all the way up to something as nice as this Badlands Sasquatch, which is clearly much more than $30,000, probably closer to $60,000, maybe $90,000 if you're paying what the dealer wants you to pay. This does have a V6 bi-turbo with over 300 horsepower, obviously has the Sasquatch Badlands kit, which includes much larger tires, locker wheels, and all sorts of great features that we're going to dive into right now. For more than 2 decades, manufacturers have been doing their best to reimagine their old models in a more modern yet still retro style with such nasty iterations as the PT Cruiser and the FJ. But in my opinion, Ford has truly nailed it, and it's a magnificent work of design. As you can see, they've nailed it with the front fascia, the integrated hood bump, and these nice flowing lines across the hood, both front and back, just as were featured on the original Broncos. And of course, the Bronco font remains true throughout. The Bronco is really aimed at that Jeep Wrangler niche. The Jeep Wrangler has lived for decades unchecked by any other manufacturer, being the plaything of everyone from puka-shelled frat boys to Jenny fresh off to college, and even Gerald the Moab off-roader. But now, that time has come to an end with the advent of the Bronco. A quick stroll around the Bronco reveals its muscular shape, massive off-road tires mated to bead-locking rims, extra strong running boards designed to shrug off rocks and anything you might come up against, and also a full-size spare, which is pretty cool. All throughout, you can see the Bronco symbol featured on this beautiful Ford Bronco. As I'll show you, this Bronco theme continues throughout the car on the interior, and that's pretty cool. As we enter the Bronco, you get a feel for its utilitarian nature with industrial type plastics and metals rather than luxurious leathers and woods. But that's to be expected for an off-roader, as this is really intended to be used and not babied. Once you're inside the Bronco, its purpose becomes apparent. As you see, all the materials are meant to be very durable, no cloth to be seen, only leather on the seats, which is actually an upgraded option. Throughout the cockpit, you can see the Bronco symbol endures. And even here in the center, there's a plaque that says, designed and engineered in Dearborn, Michigan, to let you know that it's made in the USA. This particular model, being a Badlands Sasquatch, comes with 7 different GOAT modes here on this dial. And the GOAT stands for good old ass traction, which, as you can imagine, gets you the traction for that ass. The acronym GOAT actually stands for goes on all terrain. And as you go through the dial, here on the screen, it displays a really cool image of each of those 7 terrain choices, which allows you to make the perfect selection and always know that you're on the right terrain and right terrain setting. Another cool feature of the Bronco is this beautiful full color display, this 12-inch monitor, which is enough to satisfy just about anyone, and the startup screen is sure to get you wet. As you can see, there are rubberized buttons throughout and little images of the Bronco everywhere, and that is pretty cool. Even your recirculating air button looks just like a Bronco with the rear tire and everything. Most of your functions are handled here on the 12-inch screen, but analog nerds will be happy to see that your music and your climate control functions are still here with solid buttons rather than a suspect touchscreen. As you can see from the outside, the Bronco will get completely topless if you know where to touch it. Mainly on the inside here, you have levers that will allow you to release the full top. You can go targa or completely tits out. Looking at the doors, you can see they're designed to be utilitarian, and you'll notice they only have the locking buttons here with no function for the windows to go up and down. Those are actually here in the center. They've even got them upside down, so after you roll your vehicle, it's easy to tell which window is which. In order to be true to the Bronco, you'll have to take off your doors and pull off your top. And here, they've even given you a special place to lift, and that is pretty cool. Just to the left of the driver's knee are these cute little buttons that represent the mirrors, and when you press them, it illuminates the light to allow you to see various zombies and anything that's outside of the Bronco if need be. Here on the center console, you do have a myriad of buttons, none of which will give you 3-wheel motion, but this one allows you to disconnect your sway bar for off-roading to Starbucks, and that is pretty cool. At the back, you've got ample space and a very wide opening tailgate. After the tailgate's fully open, you can access the back window and lift it up to get into all of your cargo space. With the seats folded down, you've got almost enough room for a half a sheet of plywood, and that is pretty cool. This is where the airing of the grievances begin. With the tailgate open only so much, you can't even get the window to lift. Say you're parallel parking, that could be a problem. Also, here, if you want to get a smiley face cover for your tire and wheel, you're going to be SOL because your camera for backing up is mounted here, and you'd have to cut a hole for it to protrude, and that is not very cool. Being that the Bronco is designed to go tits out, that is topless, the windows must drop when you open them, and they kind of bounce around, and that doesn't look too great to me. The Bronco is reasonably high for someone with a 30-inch inseam like myself, and takes a bit to get up into. They have provided you with these really cool handles, but they're not really any good for getting into the Bronco. As you can see, it just leaves you swinging out here like some kind of weirdo and doesn't help you get into the car at all. These handles are also featured in the center, more for your passenger to hold on for dear life as you off-road your way to the mall. In the back seat, we see more of that cool Bronco logo and even a no step indicator here because really you don't want to step on your center console. On the back seats, they've incorporated this interesting mesh designed to make dust incredibly hard to clean out, or to clip your favorite aluminum water bottle with its carabiner. The Bronco design team really thought of everything, even including these details here, which you might wonder, what are they for? Well, you can run a cable from here to your roof in order to keep brush and trees from hitting you in the windshield. And that is pretty cool, but only if you order the roof rail package, as currently there's nowhere to attach it. When it comes to the cameras, you've got a nice backup camera and a nice overhead 360-degree view. That's pretty cool. Driving the Bronco is a bit of what you would expect. This particular model wants you to put on your seatbelt when you drive it. And this one is actually an automatic, but they do offer a 7-speed manual. This bi-turbo V6 has more than 350 horsepower and is about average, seeing that almost every vehicle these days has a V6 bi-turbo. So there you go, my Doug DeMuro impression of a review of the Bronco Badlands Sasquatch Edition. Don't forget to check out my new website for baby and car enthusiasts called Cars and Bibs. That's Cars and Bibs. And if you wouldn't mind, why don't you drop a like on this video, maybe subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notifications because that's pretty cool.